Hi and welcome to Mark's Motivational Podcast. A very happy new year to you all. This is the first episode of 2025. I hope you all had a lovely Christmas, nice break. So tonight I have a really big treat for you. I had Tom on the podcast before a number of years ago. He's Pete and Tom on Song. The name of the band is. They've been doing a lot more music since I talked to Tom last. So I'm really looking forward to talking to Tom to see how he's getting on with all his music. So, Tom, thanks a lot for joining me on the podcast again.
Yeah, no problem, Mark. Nice to be here.
Yeah, great. Hope all's well for you. You had a good Christmas and uh,
Yeah, all good.
yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah,
yeah, all the family are all good. Yeah,
all good.
so we probably start off the podcast for people to kind of refresh people's memory. Who've listened to the podcast before your last
Yeah,
episode. Would
yeah,
you mind just telling the folks who are listening a
yeah,
little bit about yourselves, about
absolutely. Yeah.
the band,
Well,
please?
myself and my friend Pete, we're called Pete and Tom on Song, and we got back together in 2019, started making a bit of music together, and didn't take it too seriously to start. We released a very kind of light-hearted song, and we just enjoyed it so much that we decided to go back and do something more. And one thing led to another, and then we had a bunch of songs out, and we decided, well, let's play some gigs. So we did that, and yeah, we've done. At this point, we've done over 30 gigs, and
Right.
at this point, we've got 15 songs released on Spotify, iTunes, and all of that. And we've got two more in the pipeline. So, like, we're not, going crazy. We're not going on world tours or anything like that.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
as I say, we're getting shit done.
Great stuff, yeah. Like I
As
can
much as,
see, okay, yeah. Yes, I can see that you performed as duo a lot of gigs. Can you share a moment you remember most from one of your shows, and what made it stand out, Tom?
well, we've done a few different types of gigs. We've done
Yeah,
gigs with fully mic'd up and all of that. And we've also done some completely acoustic gigs, no microphones at all.
yeah,
And surprisingly, one or two of the gigs, without being mic'd up, have just been great because, like you've got nothing to fall back on. You've got no reverb. You've no monitor sound. It's just yourselves and the sound that you're creating, and that's the sound that you rehearse with, in the kitchen,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
the normal sound. Um, and we've recorded bits and pieces of them, and I was genuinely kind of surprised by the way we sounded in a room with a group of people listening to us, and that was kind of really nice. No frills, no tricks, nothing, just ourselves. So that was kind of nice. And I don't know, Keith McLaughlin, he
Yeah.
does
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah,
Brady's gigs,
yeah.
and they were for him, and I must say it was a good feeling to
Mm.
just to play live acoustically and enjoy it. It's the rehearsal sound that we're very familiar with. But then, like when you play with microphones and monitors and all of that, like if the sound is good, it's a very elevated sound, and
Mm.
that can be great as well. If you just that bit louder, and it's just a very full sound then. And we've added since we spoke to you last, we started playing with a violin player,
I
and
saw that. Yeah,
a
yeah,
friend of ours has come on board with percussion as well. So it gives us a bigger sound
yeah.
when we want it.
I've
So
listened to that. It's really, really good. Like, I was listening because the violin really makes it. Like, it's really adds to
yeah,
the flavor
it
of it.
does. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's
definitely. Yeah,
kind of a leading instrument now, as well as the guitars. Yeah, yeah. So
because
yeah, it's
yeah,
different. Yeah.
right.
And
Because you just
incidentally, our violinist, our live violinist, is from Ukraine,
right.
and
Yeah,
I actually just contacted her, seeing a notice she put in a now gone guitar shop on Capel Street called Goodwin's. I don't know
yeah.
if you
I
remember
know good
Goodwin's,
ones.
but
Yeah, it's sad that that's gone, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely. I mean,
yeah.
Dublin has changed a lot, and it's a shame when you start losing guitar shops, you start losing bookshops and record shops and all of that. It's a real shame. But an old friend of mine said that he loved going into Goodwin so much that even when he really had nothing to buy, he'd always come out with some plectrums
Yeah, yeah,
just to make sure that he was contributing somewhere.
no, it
So
really was.
certainly Miss Goodwin's. Yeah.
Yeah, it really was a great shop. I agree with you 100% there. Like and
Yeah.
it was a great location as well. I think it had a lot
Yeah.
to do with the pedestrianization of the Capel Street had a lot to do with that as well. I
Yeah,
think.
which is a shame to see it gone in its
Yeah,
in the way that it's improved so much. Yeah, it
yeah.
really is. I hope they put something decent in its place anyway. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. Because it reminds me there, listening to what you sent me earlier on was really, really good with the band, with the four piece. Like reminding me a little bit of Aslan. I was watching there last night where they done the Made in Dublin back in the 90 or 2009, and they've got
Mm.
the complete orchestra in with them. Like it made it's so with their songs, it made it sound so great. Is that the idea
Yeah.
you wanted as well? Yeah,
Well, I mean,
yeah,
when you have a gifted violin player,
yeah, yeah. Great.
it's great to make use of them. And when we've our current violin player, Alex from Ukraine, is features on our new songs, but our other friend who's a violin player, an old friend, Angela De Burca, she features on most of the recordings, and like her background is classical, but she has played in pop bands as well. And but like her musical ability is exceptional, and we take full advantage of that. Like we might get an idea and we'll say, Angela, can you do this? And she'll do it in three different ways for us. So
Great.
it gives us a lot of choices. Would you like this? Would you like this? Would you like this? And
Yeah.
it's all brilliant. So
Great
it
stuff.
certainly makes our job easier. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, because even you said at the start about the 15 songs so far. How does these tracks reflect your growth as a duo, Tom?
Well, I suppose from a recording point of view, we had recorded like literally 35, 40 years ago, and we were doing it the old-fashioned way
Yeah,
and doing our best. But everything has modernized, so we had to kind of relearn how to record, but we're just relearning all the possibilities
yeah,
of what can be done.
mm,
But we've done it two ways. Like we've done it, building the track, track by track and adding to it. But we've also recorded a couple of live tracks, and one of them we were very happy with. So we have released that on Spotify, and it was a live recording in the
great.
studio, and which is in a way, it's a nice feeling that you can go in and play, record what you play, and give it the necessary tweaks, but basically put out what you played, and
Mm,
that's a nice feeling because I remember hearing the likes of Van Morrison and people from that era talking about recording back in the '60s, and basically they go into a recording studio, record the songs, and leave, and that's it. That's the
yeah,
album.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
there was a period in the '70s, when the likes of Pink Floyd would, maybe take 2 years to record a record. And you think, what were they doing in that 2 years? You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
didn't they have any songs written? But, that was their way. And they were building the tracks very, very slowly. But, we don't have that luxury to spend 2 years working on a handful of songs.
no,
Um,
no.
we have a budget and we try and get the stuff done.
Oh,
But it's
well done.
certainly very, very interesting recording now. I mean, the possibilities are endless. But at the end of the day, you want it to sound like a band and real people playing.
Mm,
We don't want to overuse technology, and we don't envisage using AI or anything like that,
yeah, no, it's
or
no,
auto tune for that matter.
yeah. Just to keep it real, keep
Yeah,
the
exactly.
vibe
Yeah,
going.
make it
Yeah,
sound like
yeah.
people are playing it. Yeah,
Yeah, I know, it definitely makes sense. Yeah, thanks a lot for
yeah.
sharing that. Yeah, and then the future recording plans with two nearly finished tracks. Can you give us an idea about what we can expect? Any plans there for the future in your music?
Yeah. Well, the I suppose the more you do, the more you make sense of what you do,
Yeah,
and recently, more and more of the songs have been inspired by experiences that I've had, spending time in the west of Ireland, and in a way, I think some of the melodies have kind of taken on more of a an Irish feel, I think. And the next song that we're doing has a kind of a melody that wouldn't be out of place on a Percy French record, if you know
Okay. Yeah.
Percy French, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I mean, I suppose it's always hard to analyze what you're doing, and you don't want to overanalyze, but there seems to be a kind of an Irish influence more and
Right.
more, yeah, and maybe less of a more of an Irish folk and less of a pop one, So we'll see where that goes. Yeah,
Right. Now, the best of luck with that. And then upcoming gigs as well, Tom. Have you want to maybe
yeah.
suggest how many upcoming gigs coming up?
We're probably going to organize a few in the next while, get these recordings out of the way, and then we'll probably be free to. I mean, we will play, small gigs, we'll play short ones, guest spots, that kind of thing, and then occasionally we'll do something longer, where we'll publicize a bit. But we play in the typical places around town, be it
Right.
Mother Riley's and Rathmines or
Right. Yeah.
International Bar, Whelan's. We did a couple of gigs supporting old friends of ours called the Harvest Ministers there.
Very
We
good.
did
Yeah.
one back in March and back in November last year, and that was a real treat to to play in front of a listening audience because there are times when you play and it's not a total listening audience.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah. I
you're
know.
you're there, but that's part of the process. Just
Hmm.
go and do it and enjoy it. We don't play too much. We're we enjoy recording, and we enjoy trying to get a video out, and so we're putting the music out there, and we'll play occasionally, and hopefully we can get a couple of extra listeners along the way. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No. God, no. It's great stuff. Like, and I love the videos you do. Like, you put them on Instagram. Is that right, Tom? The
Yeah, they're
videos.
on YouTube. We
Yeah.
have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have an Instagram page, Facebook
Mm,
page, and all that.
yeah.
Although, with Facebook, I don't know who's looking at Facebook
I know.
anymore. It seems to be
Yeah.
it seems to be pretty slow these days. We haven't done TikTok. Just haven't bothered. You know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'll be the same. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And how's the transformation been like? The experience from moving to a duo to a four-piece band.
Well, it's been really really good because you
Yeah,
get that bigger sound, the fuller sound, and
yeah,
yeah, it's great to hang out with more people and
yeah,
play the music and hopefully all enjoy it together. Yeah,
yeah,
and like we wouldn't be averse to adding more people if people were interested in playing and felt
yeah.
they could contribute. Like when we record, we would often we have a friend who's a drummer, so we will use a real drummer as opposed to a drum machine now.
Mm,
We've had people play harp, we've had people play piano as well as ourselves, and
right.
so yeah, and we've had a mandolin put on our latest track as well. So yeah, we're quite open to using more people and expand the sound and it's great if you say to someone, would you like to play on this, and they're inspired enough to play something good over your song. It's
Right.
it's
Yeah.
lovely to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's great that it's all gelled together with the rest of the band. Like, isn't it? That's
Yeah,
happened.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, we've
Yeah.
we've played quite a few gigs now as a four
Yeah.
piece, and that's been great fun because, as I say, it's a bigger sound and making more noise, especially in pub gigs.
Yeah.
The more noise you make, the better. I think the
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
attention you can get.
Yeah.
And there if you're the lone singer in the corner with your acoustic guitar, you probably could be ignored very quickly. So we try to make as much noise as possible in a good way.
Yeah, good stuff. And have you ventured out and doing any kind of party gigs or anything like that? Is that something you've ever looked at?
No,
Like,
no, yeah, we haven't. We played outside of Dublin. We played in Dundalk. We played in Kilkenny,
yeah,
and we enjoy them, but just really just to see what it was like,
yeah,
and the whole gig business, it's not as if you're gigging to make money. You're
no,
doing it for the fun really more than
exactly.
anything.
Yeah,
If you
exactly.
cover your costs, well, that's good.
Mm, yeah,
um we're not really prepared to to go on the road. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah,
that's really not
yeah.
our motivation, at the
Mm.
moment.
And like, and the singles from all the songs you recorded, which one would you say is your favorite that you've had? How could you say the most success with, or personal success? Not saying maybe money success, but
Yeah,
for
well,
yeah,
of the 15 songs, I suppose, you tend to be most excited about the one you've just put out,
yeah,
and then, when that wanes, you're already working on the next one, and
yeah,
then you're most excited about that one.
exactly.
I think, when we look back over 15 songs, maybe the first two, we probably wouldn't bother recording them now, because
Yeah,
they weren't really thought out too much. We just were having a bit of fun, and we thought we'd record a couple of songs. So they were good,
yeah,
learning experiences in
right,
terms of
yeah,
getting back into recording. But after that, we began to take the recording more seriously and the choice of songs more seriously, and we've been quite happy with them, and we were considering, but not definitely decided to do it. We were considering just putting a collection together on a CD, just that would be representative of the best of what we've done so far. So
right,
maybe of the 15, put 10 or 11 songs. And if we were playing a gig, if there are people of our generation who still listen to CDs, and they wanted to have it, we would have it. But the songs are available for free as it is on Spotify. So
yeah.
we would only be doing it for those small few who might want to have a CD in their possession with artwork and credits and all of that.
Yeah, but
But we're trying to grow the followers on Instagram and all of that, and on Spotify, and slowly but surely we'll see what happens.
yeah, but I find like even going to open mics, Tom, still see people selling their CDs, so
Yeah,
it is still out there, the people still buy like to have an
yeah,
actual CD of the band, like it's still a popular
yeah.
thing,
And I have to say, like, if I was the last gig I went to, the band were selling some CDs, and I bought a CD, because I liked what I heard, and I was quite happy to fork out 15 euro for a
Yeah,
CD of 10 or 11 tracks. Absolutely. I mean, it's still
yeah,
cheap. Uh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Like, I know vinyl is getting very popular, but
Mm.
vinyl is actually really expensive, like,
Yeah,
30
yeah.
euro to 50
Oh,
euro.
yeah,
It
yeah.
seems like a lot of money for most
Mm.
people, in this day and age.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could buy a lot of vinyl at that price.
Mm.
Although, yeah, they're nice pieces, and it's nice to touch, and it's lovely to see the artwork and all of that, and you feel like you're holding something tangible in your hand, and
Mm.
yeah, I mean, I remember what it was like to buy a record, but they seem to have been cheaper when I was buying them.
Definitely, definitely, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, then, no, it's a lovely sound off vinyl. I have to agree with you there. It's
yeah,
beautiful
yeah,
sound. It's a
yeah,
nice sound.
but
So, like,
expensive.
mm,
Yeah,
yeah. But like you were saying, I know you're not in it for the money. It's just like you enjoy. It's the enjoyment of the music. But I suppose, what's your long term goals as a band, Tom? Do you have any long term goals for where you
um, no, 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 not exactly. But when people like yourself would ask me a question like that, I'd always have to think a minute and then say, well, you'd be quite happy to play a few more gigs, provided you feel people are listening. You'd be, obviously very happy to put out more songs, as long as you think people are, listening and giving you feedback and things like that. And then just see where it takes us. Uh, Being creative, whether it's writing books or songs or plays. I mean, I think people do it because they feel that's what they can do and they're good at, and it's what they get up in the morning to do. So, you do it because you like doing it, and if anything else happens as a result, well, all in good, But I'm not going to lose any sleep over, uh,
oh,
staying at the same level. It's enjoyable. It's
definitely,
possible. We can do it.
yeah.
And why not? You know.
Brilliant, Tom. Yeah, brilliant. And when is your
And
next? When is your next
yeah,
uh singles out? They're coming out shortly.
well, we're literally we'll be in the studio tomorrow night, and we should have a an almost final mix of one of the songs. And what we normally do is we add tracks to the song, and we gradually begin to make decisions, and then we get to the point where we think we nearly have it. We usually leave it a week or so just to listen to it at home and on different, listen to it in the car, listen to it on small speakers, listen to it on big speakers, just to try and get a feel for it. And
Yeah,
if we think we have the right mix, then we just go back to our engineer, Graham, and say, yeah, go ahead and master it. But if we feel there's one or two more tweaks, we'll go back in and do the final tweaks. But, we tend, not to spend forever doing the final tweaks. So
yeah.
I'd say it'll be ready in 10 days. And then
Brilliant.
we'll get cracking on getting it out, getting the artwork done and organizing the video and so on. And that's all a bit of fun. And
Yeah,
through our old friend Keith McLaughlin as well. Keith often does a bit of promotion for us,
right.
gets it on to various radio stations,
Brilliant. Yeah, yeah.
internet stations, local stations, and that keeps us busy for a while. And while that's happening, we're hopefully finishing off the next one, and
Mm,
maybe as well getting back to just rehearsing a bit and getting ready so that we can do a couple of gigs. Like we've done long gigs and short gigs and medium gigs, and so, in a way, it might be nice to get together with a couple of more acts and do joint gigs, or three acts on the bill gigs, and you
mm.
know that might be more fun, and also in terms of each act bringing a certain amount of listeners with them. You kind of open up your listeners to their music. Their listeners will hear your music, so that's something that we might look into for sure.
Definitely. And is it all original stuff you do, Tom, or is there any covers
Yeah,
involved?
we do all original.
Yeah,
Mainly because there didn't seem to be any point in doing covers when
yeah,
the reason we were playing together was because we wanted to make some
of
music
course. Yeah, of
and
course. Yeah,
write songs. And
yeah.
but now that we have like a large repertoire, I kind of enjoy playing little bits of other songs, and but I very often kind of incorporate them into the songs that we play ourselves. So there's one of our songs. Just realized that I can sing a song by Roxy Music called Mother of Pearl
Oh, great song.
over a section of it.
Yeah.
So I do that.
Mm.
There's another song that I find I can play little bits of the Pink Panther over. So we
Oh,
kind
very
of
good.
we're sneaking things in,
Yeah.
but I can't say that we're doing full covers.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
like we're kind of doing it with a sense of humor, I think.
Great.
So and there's a new song that I don't know if you know an old Irish song. Well, it was an old English song originally called Johnny, I Hardly Knew You.
Yeah, I do
Uh,
know that. Yeah. I do
yeah,
know that. Yeah.
so kind of tweaking the melody of that into one of our songs as well. So that kind of thing, but like we're not doing covers as such.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to be honest, like I don't think that's something that we're really that good at. So I don't think there's any point in trying to do a really great cover of a song if we're only going to do it in a mediocre way.
I
There are
understand. Yeah.
plenty of
Yeah.
people who do magnificent covers, and they're good at it.
I know. Very good. Can I just ask you for younger bands that are listening to this podcast? Like maybe could you maybe say what way did you do it at the start? Like because recording for a lot of people can be expensive. Like in recording studios. So if you could give a bit of advice about that from your experience, what would be the best way to go around that?
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, most young people are so clever and tech savvy that they can record
Yeah,
themselves on their laptops in their bedroom,
of
and
course. Yeah, yeah,
can do it for next to nothing. So I'd be the worst person in the world to advise young people. But just in terms of people our own age, who are getting
yeah,
back in.
yeah, yeah,
Well, I mean, it has got easier because, like, when we were recording 40 years ago, it was definitely more expensive to record.
yeah.
And the song that you ended up completing tended to be expensive enough. But now it is possible if you're well prepared, well rehearsed to go in and lay down your tracks pretty quickly,
Mm.
get the sounds that you need pretty quickly. For instance, if you're trying to get a drum sound, it's a lot easier to get a drum sound now.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a lot easier to get the sounds that you're looking for, I think, a lot quicker.
yeah,
And time is money. So if you're going into a recording studio, people are usually they're usually going to get you in and get you out quick if that's what you're looking for. Obviously, if you're a perfectionist, you can spend forever in there, but it
yeah,
doesn't mean
yeah.
that it's going to be a lot better. It
Exactly.
just
Yeah,
means you're going to take you longer to make your decisions. But that's the great thing about, I suppose, recording music now is that there's so many choices that you can have. Do you want this sound? Do you want that sound? And
yeah,
that's great, but
definitely.
you don't want to get caught up in spending forever making the decisions.
Yeah. No, that's great advice. Thanks very much, Tom. Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense because young people would be able to do it all in their bedroom. Makes a lot of
Oh,
sense.
definitely,
But
yeah,
people
yeah.
like that wouldn't be that tech savvy. Like it's good to kind of people are listening to this might get some good advice from that.
Yeah,
So that's great, Tom. And as well,
yeah.
if you want to send me on your links to your Spotify and your Instagram with the music on that, and I'll put them on the show notes for people to check out as well.
Oh, thanks very much. Yeah, we'll do
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. But Tom, it's been great talking to you on the podcast. Thanks a lot for coming on.
Yeah, thanks very much, Mark.
Yeah.
And it's good
And
to talk to you again. It's
yeah,
been a couple of years. Yeah.
yeah. Is there anything else I haven't asked you'd like to maybe share with the people who are listening and watching on YouTube?
Well, I mean, anybody who's listening, please, have a listen to the songs and
Yeah,
on Spotify. They're free to listen to on iTunes and every other platform as well. The videos are on YouTube, so you can all check it out. And if you like it, great. And give us a follow on Spotify and Instagram and all of that. Yeah, that'd be great. And spread the word if you
yeah,
like the song.
definitely.
I mean, I still do it when I hear a song that I like. I just always want to tell people about it.
Yeah,
Have
yeah.
you heard this song? I don't know if you've heard of an Irish band called Amble.
I have. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
absolutely love their songs. I can't stop playing them. And my son put me onto them, and it's been fantastic. And it's great when someone is excited about a band, and then they tell you, and you get excited about it,
yeah,
and you want to tell your friends. And
yeah.
I mean,
No.
that's the way music should be. Yeah, sharing.
And have you done any interviews on radio stations, Tom? Have you done anything like that?
We have done a few here and there,
Great. Yeah,
with Keith McLaughlin and
yeah.
Marlon on Dublin South and
Brilliant.
in
Yeah,
Limerick, and yeah, quite a few. But yeah, yeah, it's good fun. It's good fun. But
yeah. Well,
the
I'm looking
most
forward to
important
checking
thing,
out your gigs. I'm looking forward to going to check out your gigs, Tom.
yeah, we'll
Yeah,
certainly give you a shout, Mark, the next time we're playing.
definitely. Yeah.
That'll
Okay,
be
listen,
great.
thanks again for coming on.
Thanks a million,
Everybody,
Mark.
yeah. So everybody, make sure you check out Pete and Tom on song. I'm going to share all their links to their songs on the show notes, so check it out. So till next time, take care of yourselves, and once again, thanks again, Tom, and all the best
Thank you,
whatever you
Mark.
do. Take care.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.